morning, everyone. It is currently Thursday, May 7th. It's about 9:30 in the morning, and it has been a little bit of an exciting and hectic morning. Why? I'm sure you're asking. Because Macy Jane just went into heat. Yay! We're so excited. So, for those of you that don't know, I have a 3-year-old golden retriever named Macy Jane, and we are breeding her. So we are going to have golden retriever puppies. Oh, speak of the devil, here she is. Hey, can you say hi? Hi. Hi. Come here. You're so sweet. Oh, you're making so much noise on this. So, yes, we are breeding her, and I am so stinking excited. This has been a long time coming. A little bit of a backstory since we are starting off these dog diaries, I guess. Here she is. So beautiful. Such a pretty girl. So a little bit of background on Miss Macy Jane. She was my college graduation gift to myself, basically. I knew that really as soon as I was done with college, I wanted to get a dog. And I'd actually had a different breeder in mind, and I had contacted her, and she said, well, and I knew I wanted a girl. And so she said, well, I don't have any girls. I have boys available, but I won't have any girls available till fall in my next litters, assuming that there are girls in those litters. So I was like, okay, well, I don't know if I want to wait that long, but I was like, well, you know, I don't have any other breeders in mind, so maybe I'll just wait. So then my coworker and roommate future roommate at the time had recommended, she's like, you know, just look around, like maybe just try like looking at some classifieds and see if anything comes up. And so I was like, okay, I'll take a look. And sure enough, there was a breeder that was selling dark red golden retriever puppies. And so I called the lady, or I texted her. No, I called her. And I said, hey, I saw your post for golden retriever puppies, and I was wondering if you had any females left. And she said, oh my gosh, I have several girls. And she said, they are the best girls. She's like, these puppies are amazing. They're so sweet, and they're so smart, and they're so advanced. And she's like, and I'm not just saying that, like, she said, these are really like the best puppies. And so I said, okay, like, I'd love to come look at them. So I knew they were about 6 weeks old at that point. And so, you know, I was kind of texting her and trying to schedule a time to meet up. And, you know, she said, or I asked her, I was like, oh, so like, when will they be ready to go home? You know, thinking it'd be a couple weeks. And she's like, oh no, when you come tomorrow, like, you will be bringing her home. And so I was like, what? Like, I was all of a sudden like, I'm not quite prepared for this. So I had to rush out and go get all this stuff. It was super exciting. Like, obviously it was super fun, but a little sooner than expected. So then I went and I picked Macy out, and she was actually the first puppy that came up to me, which I'm a very strong believer that is usually your puppy is the first one that comes up to you. It's like she picked me. I didn't pick her, she picked me. So she was just the sweetest thing. And I remember I picked her up. She was literally like, could fit in my hands. She was just so freaking cute. I picked her up. She was so excited. She really wanted to be picked up. And as soon as I picked her up, she just stopped. She just cuddled in and was instantly calm. And I would say that's kind of still true today. She is a big cuddler, and I was just absolutely in love with her right away. She actually did have a little bit of ringworm, which for those of you that don't know is very common in dog litters. It's just from bacteria that gets transferred. But so she did have a little bald spot on her head, and like the breeder was like, are you sure that's the one you want? I'm like, I don't care. It's gonna go away. You know, it's not life-threatening. I'm like, this is the one. And she's like, okay, I just want to make sure. And she felt so bad. And, you know, the puppies, some of them had ringworm. And I was like, it doesn't bother me. You know, it's an easy iodine treatment, and then they're done. And lo and behold, she had a bald spot for a couple, you know, weeks or months, and then it grew back. So, and so it's funny because I knew I wanted a girl, but I did not have a name picked out. I really struggle with girl names, and Macy was always like my backup name. It was one that I liked, but I wasn't super sold on. And it's funny because we were walking through the AKC registration process and everything, and she was telling us how you have to name your dog like a unique name, so that you can identify it in future bloodlines. And you know, I hadn't picked a name out yet, and Macy was kind of on the back part, like it was like my safe name. And you know, the breeder, she says, you know, like you could name her Stabner's Macy. And I like stopped, and like I like looked at my dad and I looked at her and I was like, she literally just said the name that I had planned for my dog, like as my backup. So then I knew that Macy was her name from there. And while we were walking through the process, she's like, you know, you can, I'm giving you breeding rights if you want it. You know, in my opinion, it's your dog. You know, you can do whatever you want with your dog. And I was like, you know, I was like, oh, I'm not going to breed her, but whatever. That's great to know. So fast forward, and I took her on a trip with me to see some family, like a month or two after I got her. And my family was all like, you've got to breed this dog. Like, she is so good. She's so well behaved. She's got a great temperament. And I was like, you know, like, yeah, she's a great dog, but I had no intentions of breeding her. Well, people kept telling me that, you know, she's such a good dog. You have to breed her. And here we are, getting ready to breed my dog, which is just so crazy, you know, looking back. And, you know, it's finally here, and I woke up this morning and realized she is in heat, and I was like, it's happening. So that's what we're dealing with today. I was kind of suspicious that she was going to go into heat because she gets very clingy when, right before she goes into heat, and when she's in heat, she's very cuddly and like just always wants to be by you. And she just the last couple days has just been like, has not left my side, which is not like her. I mean, she's a pretty independent dog. She likes her cuddles and everything, but she has not left my side. So I was suspicious that she was going into heat. And actually last night I was talking to Jonathan and I said, you know, I'd be willing to bet money that she's going to go into heat earlier than I thought. And sure enough, this morning I wake up and she is in heat. So it is May 7th. I think I said that. So typically, dogs are fertile for, like 4 days of their heat cycle. So, the goal is to breed her on, I think, the 10th and 11th day. I'm looking into getting some progesterone tests done to make sure that I'm doing it on the most optimal days. But there's like some, you know, behavioral signs. I'm not going to get into it, but there's basically some behavioral signs and some like timing things, that give you good indication that they are ready to breed. So I am breeding her with another purebred golden retriever. His name is Archie. He is, I mean, you guys, I'm just going to toot my own horn here and say that I hope that I'm just creating the best puppies in the world, because both of these dogs are just absolute angels. They're very well behaved, great temperaments, just like the best dogs, you guys. Seriously, they're so well behaved. And I know you can't breed for behavior. You can breed for like temperament and, you know, things like that. But I know every dog is gonna be different. I think it's heavily based on how you train them. But I just really hope that I am creating a bunch of little angel baby puppies, because Archie and Macy are seriously just the best dogs, you guys. And that's really why I'm doing this, because I know I absolutely have been 100% blessed by Macy as a dog. I never would have expected that I would get such an amazing dog. And I know that sounds really dramatic, but she literally just makes me so happy, and she makes so many other people so happy, and she's so smart and so sweet. And like, I could go on and on about my dog, you guys, but I mean, it's not just me being obsessed with her. Like, I know so many people that absolutely love Macy, and I really hope that I am providing just the world's most perfect puppies. So, yeah, I guess that was kind of the long-winded version of introducing you guys into this series. I am hoping to document it quite a bit. You know, the parts that aren't absolutely disgusting and weird, but you know, it's all part of bringing life into the world. So, as of now, in about 10 days, we should be breeding her. And, then a typical gestational period is about 64 days. So if our timing is correct, July, middle to end of July is when we'll have puppies. So, stay tuned. And obviously this is being recorded much earlier than you guys will be seeing it, but I'm excited to bring you guys along. I literally cannot wait, and it's so crazy that it's finally happening, because like I said, this has been years in the making. So yeah, I hope you guys are enjoy this journey, and I'm happy to have you guys along. And let's go ahead and get some puppies.